Live from New York, it's the show that had Arthur Bryant straight from Kansas City, courtesy of your number one Kansas City Chiefs fan, Kevin Wildes.
You're claiming credit?
It was my idea. I was like, where should we go?
It was delicious.
You're welcome.
I need a nap, but it was delicious.
In the world.
So, well, I might just. It's not time yet.
What do you mean it's not time yet?
I might pick them. When are we picking? We're doing our picks tomorrow, right? For this game? I might pick the Detroit Lions. Are you saying the Lions have no shot? I might surprise y'all tomorrow.
You're not going to.
I might surprise you. You're testing me. You're testing me. I'm not anti-Chiefs, but they're not going to.
You're going to pick the Chiefs.
They're not going 20-0, and it might end tomorrow. Okay. I'm thinking things over. Okay? That's all I'm doing. I had no idea that was coming. I feel like everybody in the studio, everybody in this building knew that was coming except me.
Who you got?
Well, look. I tried.
I knew it.
Especially after you guys challenged me yesterday. I dug deep in the tapes. Dusty sent me comps on Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah. All right. I consulted doctors' opinions about Aiden Hutchinson's ankle and Travis Kelce's knee.
Yeah.
But I am nothing. Everybody knows this. You guys know it well. I am nothing if not objective.
That's true.
I'm a facts man.
That's true.
No rooting interest, no pom-poms, no hot takes just for rating's sake. All right? I come with the facts. I call them as I see it, cold, hard, sober-minded takes. I got to be who I am.
We know. So who you got?
The Chiefs.
Okay.
Mahomes is too much. Mahomes is too much. I'm just saying.
This yesterday.
But it was close.
There was no one.
You act like
you were never picking the Lions.
It was close.
No, you weren't.
I tried. I looked for reasons, but it'll be a good game. But the Lions,
I don't know that it'll be a good game. Obviously, it's Kansas City. Obviously, they will score a minimum of 33 points, and I base that on the fact that that's the fewest points Patrick Mahomes has ever scored in a week one. And it feels to me like it might be a 38-24 type of game. What makes anybody think Detroit is ready for this stage? Last year, when they, for the first time in forever, were actually like, oh my God, we might be able to make the playoffs. They played a miserable Panthers team, and they were down 31-7 before people were back from the concession stands at halftime. They gave up a college-esque 320 yards rushing in that football game. Everybody remembers the Week 18 performance, which they deserve massive credit for. But it was the opposite of a pressurized situation. Yeah. They had already been eliminated. If you remember, one of the key plays in that game was a hook and lateral they ran late in the fourth quarter because they could play free and loose. Right. This is very different. This is all of a sudden the NFL has said, of all the teams on the Chiefs' schedule, they had 14 teams to choose from, I guess fewer, 7 teams to choose from because it's only going to be a home game. We choose the Detroit Lions as the team that gets to open up the season on national television, and we choose it because we think you guys might be the team that gets the honor of playing the Chiefs in the last game of the year as well. That's a lot. What do you
think they thought that?
They don't put a non-contender on the opening night. I'm not saying that they believe it's going to happen, but they have the 9th best odds.
They are being named as
like Chris Broussard copyright pending, a dark horse. And so I think that maybe America has kind of forgotten what a healthy Patrick Mahomes looks like and what the Chiefs have looked like. Like, here's the last 7 games. Now, they've won 8 in a row. But here's Mahomes' last 7 games, 3 of which he did on one leg. Yeah. He's been awesome, and he's rolling, and so I don't think the Lions are quite, and I picked them to go to the playoffs, Brew. Right. I don't think they're ready for this stage tonight.
All right, obviously I have the Chiefs, but I am a little bit worried, a little bit more sober-minded, which is perfect for our new segment. we're debuting. It's called 3 Worrisome Full Screens.
What?
3 Worrisome Full
Was
Screens.
this Nightmare Fuel last year and you changed it?
Well, now it's called 3 Worrisome Full
Okay.
Screens.
Well,
Nightmare Fuel is hot.
maybe.
Well, now it's called 3 Worrisome Full Screens.
Okay.
It doesn't roll off the tongue
Well,
quite
there was a
Nightmare
healthy
Fuel.
debate upstairs about it. I may have been wrong. Goff's last 10 games. 8-2 against the spread. He's 9-1. Passer rating fantastic. 17 touchdowns, 1 interception. You're big on Patrick Mahomes. 18 touchdowns, no interceptions. Goff's right there. Hasn't thrown an interception in 324 attempts. So if you're planning on picking off Goff, either he's definitely not going to, or he's going to. Either way, it's worrisome. Worrisome. Headline number 2, most pass touchdowns allowed. There's Kansas City. Sorry, I know the plan is to outscore, but it would be nice if you weren't, I don't know, the easiest team to score a passing touchdown.
Or teams abandon the run because you're beating them so badly.
Well, still, so they just decided to let guys waltz in.
I don't know. I think any
in?
stat that's a last year Chiefs stat that doesn't acknowledge the fact that they won 17-3
You know what?
Super
This
Bowl.
side of the table is just about facts. We're not about making narratives.
All right,
that your
go
defense
ahead.
all of a sudden letting guys.
I
I'll let him do
would
it.
give you a
I'll
high
put that on
five,
tape.
but I'm
that's
afraid
okay.
you
Maybe
might
just-
miss my hand.
And finally, a lonely 332. 3,630 dropbacks, 3,298 with Kelce, 332 without. And I know he had a good game without Travis Kelce. I'm just
Literally
saying,
undefeated in his career without Kelce.
okay, is there a small
Better winning
sample size?
percentage without
It's a
Kelce
small
than with. I'm just
Tom
telling you.
Brady missed Gronk so much. Tom Brady went to a new team. He said, you know what, Gronk, come out of retirement. I need you. You're my security blanket, and they won the Super Bowl. I think he just might miss him a little bit. Brew, out of the 3 worrisome, good. Out of 3 music and everything? Yeah, 3 worrisome full screens. Did any of those worry you?
Worrisome is a tad much.
Worrisome? It was called Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah,
Now it's called worrisome.
The Chiefs are, I think they got them, obviously, but none of them really worry me.
None?
No.
Can I tell you what
I think there's a
actual...
formula for them to beat the Chiefs, but
Oh, what is it?
well, some of that was on the screen. Obviously, you got to protect Goff. He's great. You did a graphic a few days ago how good Goff is when he's not pressured. That's one reason he was so good last year. They got a great offensive line. You guys won't have Chris Jones. I don't expect the Chiefs to have much of a pass rush at all. And I know the defensive backfield is going to be a little bit better, but still, no matter how good your defensive backs are, if you can't get a pass rush, the quarterback's going to eventually pick you apart. They got good receivers. I think they'll have a balance. I do like Jamar Gibbs, the rookie, out of Alabama.
Yeah.
Like, he can catch and run, and so he can do damage. And then defensively, you just got to keep Mahomes from going berserk. Right? And you would think without his security blanket, as you call it, Kelce, see what these young guys are made of. See what these young receivers are made of.
So here's when I thought that this topic was nightmare fuel, rather than 3 worrisome full screens. Here's the thing: there is a chance that tonight is a nightmare, but it would be for the Lions, not the Chiefs, in this regard. Because Jones is out, and because Kelce, it looks like, is not going to play, and because the Chiefs have nationwide the institutional acknowledgement of this team, even if people are, foolishly not picking them to go to or win the Super Bowl. Nobody, I've yet to see someone do what they were doing last year, which is picking them to miss the playoffs and such. Even if the Chiefs lose, I don't think many people are going to be panicking.
Right.
The Lions, because the Chiefs are without Chris Jones.
Yep.
And because they might be without Travis Kelce, let me put this scenario to you. What if Detroit's offense doesn't hum? What if their offense looks like it did most of last year on the road? What if this team that everyone believes is going to be carried by its offense is playing a team that everyone believes their defense, is going to be the biggest liability, and they're without their only all-pro on defense if the Lions' offense sputters a bit? Flip side, people that want to believe in the Lions, and I believe in them somewhat, I picked them to go to the playoffs. The concern is the defense could put a ceiling on them. Well, if there's no Kelce out there, and the Chiefs what if the Chiefs go up and down the field on them the way they did week 1 of Arizona? Then I think everyone's going to pause and say, well, hold on. if the Chiefs, even with Mahomes, without Travis Kelce, scored at will, how is this team going to be able to get any real stops? Now, that might all be week one overreactions, but I think when we're talking about positive momentum, a good vibes team, like a team that feels really good about where it is, that can all end before week one officially begins if either of those things happen to the Lions because of who the Chiefs are missing.
Yeah, they don't have to win, but they can't get blown away. Get routed, then it's same old Lions.
Yep.
SOL, that's what they say in Detroit.
SOL is what
that's what they say in Detroit.
I think that's
SOL,
real.
same old
You
Lions.
didn't invent that one.
Huh?
That's a real one.
That's real.
Yeah.
What, SBOB isn't real?
Well, it's real now, but you invented it.
Yeah, I invented that.
Report,
Right.
Travis
Copy.
Kelce tested his
Trademark.
knee this morning. He's listed as questionable. Looks to be a game-time decision. He's definitely not 100%. So should Kelce play tonight?
No. And it's not about re-injury. It's about using this opportunity when you are in a great position to build on the confidence of your young receiving core that started in the Super Bowl. Obviously, if Kelce were 100%, he's playing.
Right.
But he's not. And I understand the doctors on Twitter that I read are saying, since there's no ligaments, it's about pain threshold, not so much about re-injury. It's a bone bruise. Man, this is one of the oldest great players in the entire league.
Right.
The oldest great player that's not a quarterback in the entire league. Give him extra time. You have 10 days till the next game. And Sky Moore, your second-round pick last year, had a rough rookie season, and then scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, and now is going, without Kelce, is going to either be your number one or number two option. Kadarius Toney, who has had a rough career, if we're being totally honest. Team that spent the first-round pick on him, gave up on him, got injured a couple times in Kansas City, scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, then missed training camp, but is back after the meniscus surgery. See if he can build on it. I believe, I've been saying this name for just 2 months, and you guys have laughed at me. I think Justin Ross could be a guy that all the shows are talking about tomorrow if he's active tonight. I'm not sure if he will be. If he is, and I think that the one game Mahomes played without Kelce, other than the first game of his career, when he was full-blown Patrick Mahomes, he completed the ball. He completed passes to 9 different receivers. But we talked about it yesterday. Byron Pringle had the big game. I think when the biggest actual question mark about this team is its receiving core, is its pass catchers other than Kelce, having an opportunity to play a game without Kelce could be a blessing in disguise to a degree, and you take away that rushing Kelce back when he's turning 34 shortly.
I agree. I had that down as a reason. Get these other guys the football, get them used to playing. This is a big game. I mean, they're going to drop the banner. It's the only game of the night. It's the season. Like, this is a big stage, so it's good for these young guys to get that experience. I do think re-injury, though, is the number one reason. And it just makes me chuckle a bit when doctors always say, well, you can't make it any worse. Well, you can always get hurt, particularly in a football game, and especially if you're already compromised. So I would just sit him out. The only reason to really play him, Nick, is if they really are harping on 20-0.
You're going to win either.
You're harping on it, but if
well,
I think so. But I'm just saying, unless they're really like, we really want to go 20-0, and maybe they do. Obviously, they want to win every game. But unless that's like, it's like, you know what, let's go get this because we want to start off right and go 20-0. Other than that, there's no reason to play him. Let him rest.
If he's dressed and like doing drills in the pregame, I bet he 100% goes. Just based on the vibes. I know you're the king of vibes, but like it was expounded on in quarterback that we got to hear all the audio. Yeah. When Mahomes was limping around, and remember, Bieniemy tried to take him in for the X-ray, and he's like cursing at the coaches, and he limps back out there. Those guys want to play, and it feels like the culture of the team just to get out there and compete. I don't think you can be great and not want to compete. Academically, like, I should sit. It would be good for Sky Moore. I just don't know if that will register.
No, I think that's right, and Kelce doesn't miss time. You know what I mean? Kelce, since his rookie year, has never missed a game with injury. We kind of got conflicting pieces of information. This morning, the owner of the team, Clark Hunt, said, I know Travis suffered like a little knee tweak, but you know what I mean? I wouldn't bet against him playing. But then a few hours later, the Chiefs elevated a tight end off the practice squad to the active roster. So it's like the owner seems to think he's playing. The roster move would indicate maybe he's not. So I guess we'll see.
Okay. What would a win without Kelce and Chris Jones say about Mahomes? We're running out of nice adjectives for him. Tom Brady-esque, and then we're kind of stuck.
Jordan-esque.
Jordan-esque. You're the first one to call him that, Sports Illustrated.
Don't forget about that.
So what would a KC win without Kelce and Jones say about Mahomes, bro?
I mean, it'd just be more of the same. It just would add to the legend. It's just as simple as that. I mean, we've given him all the superlatives that we can. All right, it would put the rest of the league once again on notice, and it would make us wonder. Right, it would make us wonder about Detroit, like Nick said. Mm-hmm. Like I've heard people picking them to maybe get to the Super Bowl. All right, and I think they're a notch below San Francisco and Dallas and Philadelphia. But if they get blown away tonight, then people are going to look at them differently.
You're right, but that's not the key here. The key here is the wrench it can throw into all NFL conversations this year. Because if the Chiefs annihilate a contender without their best defensive player, without their best skill position guy, and they do it in a standalone game on national television, then all these folks who I have been quietly keeping bookmarks of on Twitter, who are picking the Chiefs to go one and done in the playoffs, this is the Bengals year, here's what you're going to hear on all your favorite sports television shows in short order. Well, obviously the Chiefs look like the favorites, but if something were to end, they will preface all their takes with the hat tip to, we know who actually the best team is. Mm-hmm. And as an added bonus, the one thing that once Tyreek was gone and they won anyway, that people still hold on to is, let's just see what they look like once Travis Kelce's gone. Well, let's see. Let's see if this is a little preview of what the next decade of NFL football could look like, which is a collection of receivers who otherwise were cast off from teams that Patrick Mahomes turns into stars. And so that's what I think we're going to get against a secondary that can very easily get got.
You know what it sounds like?
What?
Brady-esque.
What?
That's a compliment. No, it's like who's Brady outside of Randy Moss and Hall of Famer Julian Edelman.
Outside of Randy Moss, Robert Gronkowski,
Randy Moss,
Julian Edelman, who you love.
He threw a
Julian
touchdown.
Edelman. You say Julian Edelman's a Hall of Famer.
He turned him into a Hall of Famer.
That was a joke for the show. That he's not a Hall of Famer.
Julian Edelman.
No, he calls him a Hall of Famer.
Okay, Hall of Famer and a fellow Fox employee. So you'll be hearing from HR.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.